best on-screen Bruce Wayne?
Again, you're gonna hate me for this one, but I really think Val Kilmer wasn't a bad Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Jack, there's nothing that you could do to where we would hate you. So.
I get it so much. I get it so much.
Wow. Val Kilmer. That's the first.
As Bruce Wayne. As Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Dude, to me, Val Kilmer was so bad in Batman. I forgot he even played Batman.
Adrian, moving on to our next segment here. So, dude, you're not on social media that much, right?
No. Pretty much never.
Never. I am a little bit, right? Definitely for the show, and I have been in the past. And the thing about social media is there's a lot of bullshit out there, to be honest. Right? A lot of toxic, environment at times. Sure. But there's a lot of good it's kind of like everything. There's good with the bad, right? Sure. And every once in a while you come across someone, you see something that's really cool, inspiring. And that's why that's going to kind of lead us into our next segment, okay?
Okay.
So on TikTok, we have a lot of followers, right? There's a follower of ours. His name is the Batman of Spring Hill, right? I clicked on his profile a few months back, and I didn't realize who it was at first. There was a news article probably, 3-4 years ago about a little girl who's being bullied, and there was a guy who dressed up as Batman, walked her to school. This thing went viral. I remember hearing about this, like, dude, that is some cool shit.
Right.
I had no idea that individual from this video is the Batman of Spring Hill.
Okay.
So there's a TikTok account that I found, and dude, so first of all, if you guys are watching, check out this account. But some of the stuff that he does with young kids, sick children, like just straight up amazing.
Right.
So, dude, I had to find a way to get him on our podcast. So he's here today. Well, not here in person, but we got him here visually. So my man, Jack Asbury. How we doing, Jack?
How you guys doing? Thanks for having me.
I'm doing great, man. Appreciate you taking the time out to do this. And, like I said to you when we spoke the other day, and I was just saying what you do is amazing. It's inspiring. And I really wanted to just have you on so you can tell your story to a whole different audience that may have never heard about you. Dude, first of all, that Batman suit, have you seen this, Adrian? Dude, that's insane, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah.
Dude, that's better than some of the movie costumes, bro.
I learned very soon that kids are really honest with your stuff. So if they don't like it, they'll tell you flat out, that doesn't look good. So I had to make sure that I was on point with the suit.
Right. Yeah, you can't just show up with like the Party City one, the fabric one. No, that doesn't work. But dude, how long have you been doing this, Jack?
Since 2016, okay. I've been doing it. And my Batsuits have gone from very bad to what it is now. When I first started, it was like just a foam suit that I found somebody to do it.
Yeah.
I thought it was the coolest thing because I had a really good cowl. But looking back at it now, I'm like, oh my God, it's one of those like themes of progression.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a few years.
Wow. So since 2016, what made you or how did you start? What were you doing at first, and what even gave you the idea or the desire to do this?
So there's two parts of it. My kids, when they were very young, had very long hospital stays. Okay. So my oldest daughter was born premature, and we were in the hospital for 3 months, couldn't leave, nothing. So at that point, we were in just a big room with a bunch of other parents, and it was dead silent. We're just sitting there, and there's nothing we can do. And then my youngest daughter at the time, she was 3, and she had a blood disorder. And I don't know if you guys have kids, but trying to keep a 3-year-old sitting still in a bed, not being able to do nothing, it's stressful. So I knew I wanted to figure out to do something.
Yeah.
But how I started with my Batman is I used to be a bouncer at a motorcycle bar, and we would do bike runs for charity. And his family came up and they said they're doing one for their son. His name's Ray. He's got leukemia. He's 4. And I just threw it out there. I'm like, hey, I have this bat suit, and I know you guys are local. I can come and see him, bring him some stuff. And they're like, yeah, that'd be great. And then ever since then, it just started. So I did that one, posted it on social media, and then another, and then another, and then another. So that's how it grew. And then I'm like, okay, I think I can do these visits at Batman. I've been a Batman fan my entire life. Yeah. So I'll just run with it like this. So that was my first visit, like first official Batman visit. And then it just grew from there.
Wow. Dude, that's awesome. So from that point, how often were you doing Batman visits when it started, and how often are you doing them now?
I do them, and I like to tell everybody it's because I try to stay in that character. Yeah. It's whenever the bat signal goes up. So if somebody calls and they need a visit, I'll go. Yeah. I go all over Florida. I've been to out of state a few times before. So it's really just whenever somebody needs that visit. I'll reach out to hospitals and see if there is anything that they want me to show up for.
Yeah.
Or if they have anybody that wants to visit. But normally when I do like those one-on-one is when somebody is recommended or somebody reaches out.
Yeah. Dude, the post that I saw, I think it was a couple weeks ago, that was about in tears. The one where you had all the kids that, unfortunately had passed away. And it brings it full circle because, I'm sure it's fun to get dressed. Like, dude, I've dressed up for cosplay and stuff. It's fun.
Sure.
Right. But you're doing it for a whole different reason. And to see that impact that you made on their lives and also I'm sure on yours, you've been doing this for a long time. Is there one moment, one meeting, one child or something that stands out as the most impactful moment?
So the most impactful one was David. He was in that photo. He was the first kid that I visit who passed away.
Wow.
The hard part about with David is it started during COVID. So we did like the drive-through birthday, car parade.
Yeah.
So I got to see him then. And then for his birthday, things started to lessen up and they asked if I would come see him again. So I said, absolutely. And then it showed that he was having like improvements. And then all of a sudden it just took a downward spiral and they're like, he's got like 2 weeks left. Wow. So David's the one I saw 3 or 4 times. And what I remember most about it is they called to ask me if I would come see him because they're like, he has maybe a couple days, maybe a few hours. Wow. So for the family to reach out to me to come do that just to see him was really impactful. And then they invited me to the funeral. And I told them, if it's okay, if I could show up as Batman, because that's how David knew who I was. Mm-hmm. So that's the one that stands out the most and what it was the hardest because that was my, my first being with that child while he was in those stages of passing and then the funeral. So those are the harder ones to do.
Yeah. Yeah, that's impactful. I remember that video you're talking about. I remember seeing you standing there at the funeral home in the whole, suit. Kind of bring it up some. What about the most fun? I mean, I'm sure you've had some fun doing it. I saw the slingshot Batmobile you got. And actually, how would this even started? You hopped on that trend of trying to get a bunch of TikTok follows, so your wife will let you buy the Batmobile. So we're still working on that, right?
Yes. DC actually commented on that, which I'm very surprised. Nice. They did. Yeah, it wasn't nothing. They just said broom brooms. I'm like, hey, I'll take it.
Right. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
But I'm actually in the process right now of I have a builder, and we're doing the Pattinson Batmobile.
Nice.
Only because the 89s, the Keatons, they're so expensive completely. I'm not mechanically inclined. I can't do any of that. I'm an EMT. I can't do any of that. But to purchase one, it's like $150K ready to go.
Wow.
But I've driven them before and they're not comfortable to drive. That you get the wobbles like when you're going 45, 50. So, but this way, we're taking a 2010 Dodge Challenger and just modding it. But now I'll be able to actually go to hospitals in a Batmobile to do more visits and everything, or the house visits. So, yes, awesome. We're currently in the process of building the Pattinson one.
Man, Adrian, we might have to take a trip to Florida and do a podcast in this thing,
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Along those lines, you've been doing this for a few years now. If for you to do this effortlessly, more often, the way that you would envision being able to go out and meet people and do things besides the build that's in process, what ideally would you need in order to make your vision happen so that you can do this stuff more often?
I think it would be just more people reaching out. My whole goal, what I would love to do is just travel to go to hospitals. That would be my goal to, as a job, as for work, is just go to hospitals every day and be dressed up as Batman and do that. That would be my vision of what I wanted to do. And that's kind of why we started the nonprofit to help push those things in motion.
Got it. And that's the nonprofit's Masked Miracles?
Yeah, because I found out not everybody likes Batman.
Yeah. What the hell's wrong with those people?
Right?
Yeah. I have a bunch of other friends that dress. I don't know if you see, my wife does Wonder Woman.
Yep.
I have a lot of people that do like Star Wars, Spider-Man. So if they reach out and they're like, hey, not really the biggest Batman fan, but he is a Spider-Man fan. I'm like, okay, perfect. I know a guy who can do that. So that's why we called it Mass Miracles. And what we do with the nonprofit is, because of my experience in the hospitals, like I said, 3 months in the hospital, we still have bills due.
Yeah.
We still had to work. So our nonprofit raises money to give to families so they don't have to, go pick up an extra shift, or they can afford to take a day off. And one of the kids that I saw who passed away, his name was John. We gave his family $5,000, and we told them, look, this is just to either help with bills or go take him somewhere, go take him to this money's for you. Do whatever you want to help. And he's like, we paid their car payment, and they end up taking him to Legoland. So like and I think it was a few months later he passed away. So they were able to do these things, to make memories while they still could.
That's awesome, dude. So stuff like that, money you gave to this family, if someone wants to donate, there's a donate button on Mass Miracles. Is that where that stuff goes, or does that sponsor trips? Or I guess what would if they were to donate, what would their money go towards?
So their money goes towards giving to the other families. The money that I raise through like my subscriptions on Facebook or like stars or gifts or anything, that helps me with buying toys or repairing the suit, getting new boots, which I got to do. I'm purchasing another suit because I only have the one.
Yeah.
So the money from like Facebook and stuff that comes through like videos and ads, that goes towards me. The nonprofit goes towards families.
Got it. There you go. So watch my man's stuff so he can buy some new suits and go on and donate so you can help out some families. That's awesome. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm going to go on and make a donation just for you doing this. And it's amazing. It, absolutely. And anybody watching that wants to, man, have it go to massmiracles.org, right?
Yeah.
And dude, it's awesome to see, Adrian, like, we started this for fun,
right?
And like when we were talking the other day, Jack, for us, it's just a couple hours a week, kind of an escape from reality, because reality can suck sometimes, and we just want to provide that platform where y'all can escape too.
Right.
But it's allowed us now to meet people like you, Jack,
Absolutely.
and just some awesome, like, we have a pretty cool fan base, right?
Sure.
So we do it for the fun, but to meet someone like you and see what you're doing is just strictly amazing. And just knowing that, the difference that you're making in these kids, their families' lives, like that impacts people for generations.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you, guys. It really means a lot. I love doing podcasts, so anytime I'll be more than happy.
What's cool is that Mass Miracles, number one, that name alone, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. But the other thing about all of this is that, it speaks to purpose. I'm sure as a bouncer and a biker bar, you probably never thought you'd be doing this.
Right.
And actually being very impassioned about it. So that's another cool aspect about all this. You just keep going out there, keep doing your thing, and you will find your purpose. So it's very cool that you landed in this arena doing this very thing, and it's impressive, I think.
Now, are your kids gonna follow suit? Like, you're gonna need a Robin at some point, right?
Right.
I think at least one or two, because I have 4 kids altogether. I think 2 of them will.
Yeah.
My youngest son, he's got my old cow. He'll wear that all the time. So, and then my youngest daughter, she loves going to Comic-Cons and everything. So I'm hoping I got 2, hopefully.
There you go.
And you know what? All those people that that say they don't like Batman, they're just in denial.
Yeah.
That's all that is.
Exactly.
That's all it is.
What has been the most fun, or is there a moment or something that stands out as like I had so much fun doing this or when this happened?
So one of the coolest things we did is we actually did an event for a child, and it was kind of like, I don't know if you ever saw the documentary Bat Kid, where like the whole town got involved. So we kind of did something like that in Orlando. Okay. They were raising money for this kid, but it was in the Orlando Magic's arena, and we had this whole thing set up where the Joker kidnapped the Orlando's mascot. So we had to go throughout the whole building and find clues and everything. And there was a Batmobile chasing the Joker at the end. Man, it was so much fun doing that one. Yeah. That's probably the one that stands out the most.
Got it. Well, we're going to wrap this segment with some fun stuff real quick. All right. You know, we like to do, agree to disagree, thumbs up. We like to really just, throw out opinions, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to check Jack and see how Jack feels about some things we've talked about here before, right? So you've been a Batman fan like since how long have you been a Batman fan, Jack?
It's probably since I was like 6.
Okay.
So I'm 36 now. So about 30 years I've been.
All right. So we're about equal. Actually, you probably got us on some Batman time, right?
Yeah.
You've always been. So, I mean, and Batman's my number one. We did rankings. He was like your number 2, maybe 2, 3, something like that.
Something
we
like
have
that.
to revisit that then, huh? You think, as you would say, the seasoning has changed maybe?
It hasn't changed that much.
Okay. All right.
I still like him, but not number one. Definitely not number one.
No, we know Iron Man's your number 1.
Something like that. That's changing.
Wow. Well, I guess we got it, Jack. We might have a new segment next week.
I don't know. Might have to slide Rogue into slot number 1 these days.
Yeah, he's big on Rogue throwing Cap's shield out into the damn Mount Everest. But all right, Jack. So Batman fan since 6 years old. You're getting a Batmobile. So let's just start there. Best on-screen Batmobile.
It's a classic, so I'm going to go with Keaton's 89.
Okay. All right. I respect that. That is a classic.
Yeah, that is.
Best Batman live action actor.
Oh, God. Y'all are going to hate me for it, but it's Ben Affleck. I love Ben Affleck.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
I will say he was a good Batman.
Sure.
I think the movies that, unfortunately, if he was put in a better movie, I think he'd be a lot higher on most people's lists. Yeah. He had the look down. And we'll follow that up with best on-screen Bruce Wayne.
Again, you're going to hate me for this one, but I really think Val Kilmer wasn't a bad Bruce Wayne.
Okay. Jack, there's nothing that you could do to where we would hate you. So.
I get it so much. So much.
Wow. Val Kilmer. That's the first.
Bruce Wayne. As Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Dude, to me, Val Kilmer was so bad in Batman. I forgot he even played Batman. That's crazy. I'm thinking Adam West before Val Kilmer.
Oh man.
I can't do Adam West at all.
That is funny. What's your favorite Batman movie?
I think my favorite would probably be Batman Returns, the 92. Okay. And then Robert Pattinson's wasn't bad. I don't normally have 3 hours to sit through and watch it. I'll watch probably like 45 to an hour maybe, but that one wasn't a bad movie either. But probably my favorite I could watch all the time would probably like Batman Returns.
Okay. Now, I got to ask you a question about Batman Returns. You know how I feel about this movie. Mm-hmm. It is one of my favorite Batman movies. Is it a Christmas movie, Jack?
I say it is.
Thank you. Look at that. Dude, I knew I liked Jack.
The whole thing is in Christmas season.
Exactly. And the chick dies on the Christmas tree, right? You don't get more Christmas than that.
All right.
Yep.
He's just on the fence
I yield.
about that one. Last thing, who is your favorite Batman villain?
My favorite would probably just, like everybody else's, would be the Joker.
Yeah.
I love the chemistry that it's supposed to be there between them. Like, can't have one without the other.
Right.
I just like that a lot. And you see a lot of different, like through the animated movies with Christian Bale and Heath Ledger and Jack Nicholson, Michael Keaton. I love that combination.
I lied. One more last question. Best on-screen Joker.
Oh, it's going to have to go to Heath Ledger.
Yeah.
Of course.
That was a real test because, the Val Kilmer stuff we let slide. But if you didn't say, if you said like Jared Leto, I'd have to never have you back now. But no, all jokes aside, man, I appreciate you taking out time to do this. And really a big fan of what you're doing, guys. Please go support my man Jack. He's on TikTok. Absolutely. He's on Facebook. He's on Instagram. He's everywhere. YouTube. Go to massmiracles.org. Make a donation. Please help my man out. And maybe you'll see him at a Comic-Con or something in Florida one of these days. And we got to have you back when you get your Batmobile. We got to see that here. That'd be awesome.
Absolutely,
that'd be cool.
Absolutely.
My man Battinson, as I say.
Battinson, that's right.
Thanks again, Jack. We'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Thank you, guys.